He crumbles today on a very windy day.
This is high school baseball.
Fawcett bounces off the mound. Needs to throw the plate.
High school baseball is presented by Hatch Motor Company in Snowflake and Show Low. Simply the best in service and sales. On iTalk 1067 and Show Low TV channel 56. Produced by White Mountain Youth Productions in cooperation with Show Low TV and iTalk 1067 Radio. High school baseball is also brought to you in part by Northland Pioneer College, Ace Hardware of the White Mountains, Sunrise Park Resort, Honda Outdoor Ski and Sports Store, Beeler Orthodontics, Summit Regional Medical Center, Octopus Car Wash, and Subway. And now, Hatch Motor Company in Snowflake and Show Low presents high school baseball.
Always a few bumps. They're good to go.
Well, we want to welcome in our live TV broadcast online. We're just going over our Summit Healthcare Regional Medical Center injury report. We were just talking about Jace Brewer for the Cougars. Has a torn meniscus in his knee. It will be out for the rest of the season, which is just, today, I believe, for the Cougars, unless they can get a win today and tomorrow to get into the playoffs. The Lobos come in healthy. So that is your Summit Healthcare Regional Medical Center injury report. Before the national anthem, we want to go over our Ace Hardware keys of the game. Ace Hardware has a 24-hour, 7-day-a-week locksmith. Next time you're locked out of your car or just need a key replaced any hour of the day or night, any night of the week, call Ace Hardware, your helpful place with 3 locations in Pine Top, Overguard, and Show Low. And with a day like this today, Pun, we could have a few different keys.
Well, I think a key for both teams today is defensively, with this wind being the way it is. It's a strong breeze, gusting at times to a pretty stiff level. It's just not to be crazy defensively. It's going to be tough enough just to field fly balls, for example, in the outfield. But in terms of hitting cuts and just playing sound defensive baseball, I think is going to be a key for both teams. And then, of course, on the Show Low side, they're going to be seeing the ace today, Tyler Hansen. They're going to have to find a way to get some hits today.
All right, we'll step away for a quick break as the teams are lined up for the national anthem. We'll step away. This is Hatch Motor Company's presentation of high school baseball on iTalk 1067 and worldwide on iTalk1067.com.
Hi, folks. Gentry Hatch here. Let's face it, in today's world, there are a lot of tools out there to help you buy a car. An iPhone, Kelly Blue Book, the list goes on and on.com. At Hatch Motor Company in Snowflake and Show Low, we know that you can and will find the best deal for you. We will even help you find it if you don't happen to have a smartphone, which I believe everybody does. Remember, no hassle, no pressure, simply the best in service and sales. Hatch Motor Company in Snowflake and in Show Low, and online all the time at hatchmotorco.com.
In today's challenging economy, having a college education is a must. Northland Pioneer College is here to help you prepare for your future. NPC is committed to providing you with the highest quality education with the lowest tuition cost in the state. We offer a variety of advanced learning classes to prepare you for a transfer or associate's degree, personal interest education, or earning your GED.
Contact an academic advisor for more information. Go online at npc.edu. When you think glass, think Deemer's Glass in Lakeside. Deemer's Glass offers the best selection of quality glass with affordable prices. They do full home window packages, replacement windows, custom shower doors and enclosures, custom mirrors in many shapes, styles, and colors, glass doors and hardware, commercial glass for buildings and offices, skylights, screens, fire-rated glass for your fireplace or stove, window film, and more. Visit Deemer's Glass today on Porter Mountain Road in Lakeside or call 1-888-GLASSMAN.
Welcome back to Show Low High School as we've got baseball on a beautiful day in the White Mountains. And yes, punt, I say that sarcastically, as we've got winds 40 miles an hour with gusts up to 60. The only good thing for baseball fans is it's blowing straight out today, so we could see some home runs. Let's go set the defense for the Cougars real fast, as they've got the ace of the staff on the hill today, Tristan Swanson, left-hander. His counterpart behind the dish, his battery mate's going to be Bradley Clark. Over at first base, Chandler Nicholas. Jared Williams playing second. Over at third base is Trent Williams. Shortstop today is going to be Jake Tate. Left to right in your outfield, Deegan Lintner, Jake Reedhead, and Tanner Isaacs will round out the Cougar defense. And they're coming in ranked number 41 in the PowerPoint rankings, 7-9 with those games only being counted for PowerPoints. Facing the number 10 ranked Lobos with a 11-4 mark. And the last time these teams faced each other, it was a 6-3 victory for the Lobos back on March 23rd. It was a close one. So I'm sure it was windy. I can't imagine it not being during baseball season up here. But we're about ready to start. Go through the Lobo lineup real fast. Tyler Hansen will lead off. Jake Stewart in the 2-hole. J.R. Fox hitting 3. Tanner Reedhead, your cleanup hitter. Tyler Claridge in the 5 spot. Ty Pollock, Wasey Wood, Jake Lyman, and rounding out the Lobo lineup would be J.T. Tate. So it looks like the warm-up pitches are done. Tyler Hansen fixing up the box, digging in. Hansen comes in with a 440 average on the season. He'll also be on the mound today as both clubs are throwing their aces, both lefties. And there's the magic words of play ball, and we are ready to go here in Show Low. Swanson gets his sign. Here's the windup and the pitch. Fastball on the outside corner for called strike 1.
Starts with the high fastball up in the zone.
Here's another one. Fastball bounced over the head. The rock hard infield bounce right over the head of the first baseman. So Hansen's aboard with a leadoff single.
Well, Nicholas at first base didn't have a chance of even coming close to get. That was a high hop coming off that last few feet of grass on the infield.
And that's going to bring Jesus Juarez into courtesy run for Hansen as he's pitching today. So that's going to bring up Jake Stewart. I'm going to go out on a limb and say Stewart's going to look for a sacrifice bunt here, and Lobos are going to try to get in the scoring position early. Swanson from the stretch. Looking at Juarez at first, steps off. Nothing going on.
Not a big lead at first by Juarez, playing fairly conservatively with his lead there.
Here's the lefty pitch. Fastball outside for ball 1. Yeah, Juarez, his lead is only about 2 steps, a couple strides, not very far at all. With a lefty on the mound, we'll see how the Lobos face this, and with a lefty move, it's a lot harder to get that jump. Here's the delivery. Stewart jumps out of the way of that one. Nice pick in the dirt by Bradley Clark. Stewart in a hitter's count, 2 balls, no strikes. Hansen leading off the inning with a single as Juarez takes his spot at first as a courtesy runner for the pitcher. Fastball outside, 3 balls, no strikes to the number 2 hitter for the Lobos, Jake Stewart.
And Swanson digging himself a big hole here, going 0-3 on the hitter with a runner on first.
Here's the stretch. Ball low and outside for ball 4.
4 straight pitches.
So the Lobos kicking off the game with the first 2 batters on. If you're looking to kick off your college education, choose a college with the lowest tuition in Arizona. That's Northland Pioneer College. And that's going to bring up big number 3 hitter J.R. Fox. Fox hitting .324 on the season. Runners on first and second with no outs here in the top of the first. Swanson gets his sign. Here's the stretch and the pitch. Fastball outside corner for strike 1.
That's a well-paced pitch there. Just shaves off the very outer edge of the plate. You know, a temptation I think some of these hitters are going to have to fight today with this gusting wind is trying to, you know, dip and get some elevation with their swings. They just need to swing through the ball like they normally would.
Speaking of elevation, there's a pop-up infield fly rule is in effect as Tate makes the play battling the wind at shortstop. So Fox goes down for the first out on a pop-up to the shortstop. So 1 out. That's going to bring up the 4-hitter Taryn Reedhead.
That was a bit of an adventure for Jake Tate at shortstop. You could see him dance around a little just to try to get to that ball with this wind.
Reedhead comes in batting .328 on the season. Left-handed hitter. Steps in with runners on first and second with 1 out for the Lobos. Here's a stretch and the delivery. Swung through a fastball, strike 1.
It's pitch right out over the middle of the plate, and a nice cut by Reedhead. Just did not make contact.
With this wind, we've got umpires trying to keep their caps on, infielders, outfielders. Fastball outside for ball 1. 1-1 the count to Taryn Reedhead, cleanup hitter for the Lobos. 1 out, runners on first and second here in the top of the first. 384 to center, 336 it looks like down the lines here in Show Low. And on a day like today, that's going to play like a 250 porch punt with the punt with the wind blowing to straight away center field.
And again, another high fastball, this time inside, and credit Reedhead, good eye, does not chase that pitch.
So 2 balls, 1 strike to the cleanup hitter for the Lobos. Swanson gets his signs. Here's the delivery. Ball is hit out into the right center gap. Reedhead with the battle in the wind out in the gap makes a play as that ball sounded like it just hit off the end of the bat, so he didn't get all barrel on that one. So 2 outs after the first 2 hitters get on base for the Lobos here in the top of the first. The 3 and 4 hitters are both retired on flyouts to the shortstop and flyouts to center field. And that's going to bring up senior shortstop Tyler Claridge with 2 outs and 2 runners on here in the top of the first. Fastball up and outside for ball 1.
And again, that last catch by Jake Reedhead in center, I mean, he fielded it cleanly and got the glove on it with no problem, but you could still see these guys are a little tentative with this wind.
There's another fastball outside for ball 2. The Claridge and a hitter's count. 2 balls, no strikes. Runners on first and second. Here in the top of the first, here's the pitch. Fastball, another pop fly. That looks like it's going to be a can of corn to second base, and it is. So the Cougars end any threat there was after the first 2 hitters reach base. Cougars then get the next 3. So we're going to go bottom 1. All tied at zeros. This is Hatch Motor Company's presentation of high school baseball on iTalk 106.7 and worldwide on iTalk 106.7.com.
Sunrise Park Resort is now open every Friday to Monday through Labor Day weekend. Bring the family for a full day of fun and activities, including scenic cliff rides, mountain biking and bike rentals, tube slide, airbag jump, and more. Book your reservation at the Sunrise Hotel with beautiful views of the lake and mountain, or rent a boat at the Sunrise Lake Marina. And make sure you visit our general store for all your camping and fishing needs. For more information, please call 928-735-7669 or visit our website at sunriseskipark.com.
Summit Healthcare Regional Medical Center is a proud supporter of high school sports. Many of our local sports players were born at the hospital, where Summit Obstetrics offers comfortable individual rooms for mom and baby. In case of a sports injury, the hospital ER is always staffed and prepared to take on the most serious injuries, and Summit features an advanced diagnostics department with state-of-the-art equipment. The Summit Healthcare Orthopedic and Therapy teams can help sports players overcome injuries and return to the game. Summit Healthcare Regional Medical Center wishes all players a successful and healthy season this year.
Welcome back to Show Low High School as the Cougars are hosting the Lobos in a Section 3 matchup here in Show Low. The Lobos started off the top of the first with a hit and a walk, and then stranded them at first and second as the next 3 batters hit pop-ups. So that's going to bring up Jared Williams in the bottom of the first for the Cougars. Williams hitting .344 on the season. As the first pitch fastball from the ace of the Lobos, Tyler Hansen, is called strike one. Let's quickly set the defense for the Lobos. Hansen on the mound, waits he would behind the plate. Another fastball there for strike two called on the outside corner. So 0-2 to Williams. Over at first base is J.R. Fox. Second base, Jake Stewart. Third base, Ty Pollock. Tyler Claridge playing shortstop today. Left to right in your outfield goes J.T. Tate, Taryn Reedhead, and Jake Lyman. So 1 ball, 2 strikes here to the Cougar leadoff hitter. Fastball hit down the line, foul. So 1 ball, 2 strikes to Jared Williams, leadoff hitter for the Cougars here in the bottom of the first. All tied up as zeros.
That pitch down low, but right over the middle of the plate. Williams able to turn on it, just could not get the barrel through. Great pitch, off-speed curveball. Home plate umpire checks first base to see if he took a swing on it, and the first base ump says no, so Williams will stay in the box.
His body went lunging, but the bat stayed behind the plate on the curveball in the dirt. So 2 balls, 2 strikes. Another fastball outside, so Williams back full. As he was in a hole, 0-2, has battled back to full count here. Trent Williams on deck. Fastball outside for ball 4. So that's a leadoff walk for the Cougars. We'll see if that can come back and pay dividends, unlike for the Lobos, as they had the leadoff hitter on and they stranded him. See if the Cougars can get something else, something going here. So that's going to bring up Trent Williams, hitting .372 on the year. Let's see what Coach Hathaway has dialed up here for his 2-hitter. If he's going to let him swing away with the wind, or if he's going to play some small ball and try to get his runner in the field or scoring position. Looks like he's swinging away. First pitch on the outside corner for called strike 1. Third baseman is on the grass. Outfield straight away. Middle infield is at double play depths. They're about halfway into the grass. Here's a pick over, and they've got Williams in a rundown as Hansen picks over, and he is tagged out at first by J.R. Fox. That's going to be a 1-3-6-3 put out as Williams gets picked off. When you have a lefty on the mound, punt, your first, unless you're stealing, your first motion has got to be that step back towards first, and we didn't see that one.
Yep, that was a great move by Hansen. He could see that, and at the big lead, of course, by the runner Williams as well.
So that's a fastball low in the dirt. So Cougars get the leadoff guy on and gets himself picked off 2 pitches later. Fastball up in the zone for ball 2. 2 balls, 1 strike to Trent Williams. Number 2 hitter here for the Cougars here in the bottom of the first. All tied up at 0. Here's the windup and the pitch. Fastball low and outside. 3 balls, 1 strike.
And Hansen so far just trying to make a living on the outside edge of that plate against these Show Low hitters so far here in the first.
There's a fastball up for ball 4. So back-to-back walks here for the Cougars, and that's going to bring up number 11, Bradley Clark. Clark hitting .533 on this season. Left-handed hitter. We've talked about his defense behind the plate, just bodying up, blocking balls throughout this season. Swings the bat real well, and with this win today, he could put one out onto that practice soccer field back there, Pond.
Yes, he could. Well, it's the first time we've seen the lefty come up against the lefty, so I'd be curious to see how Hansen, what he throws at him here.
Fastball low for ball 1. It's got to be tough for these pitchers as the wind is directly in their face. So Hansen throws about mid-80s consistently with the wind right in his face today. I'm sure it's not that high as it would be for Swanson, as that ball's low in for ball 2. So 2 balls, no strikes to the number 3 hitter for the Cougars. Clark looking down at Coach Hathaway, getting his signs. Steps in, set. Here's the stretch from Hansen. Here's the pitch. Fastball on the inside corner for strike 1. That's a pitch that's right there that we talked about, that practice soccer field, that it could have cleared that one.
That was up in the zone as well. And you can see Snowflake respecting the potential power of Clark. They're playing really deep in the outfield.
Ball hit by the third baseman as Clark goes with the fastball in the outside corner. Doesn't try to pull it, just goes with it and hits it right past the third baseman for a single. So the Cougars are threatening here in the first with runners on first and second with one out. And that's going to bring up the big cleanup hitter, Chandler Nicholas. Nicholas hitting .396 on the season. So we'll see if unlike Lobos in the bottom of the first, if the Cougars can get one across and scratch out an early lead here.
Well, you know, they're starting off exactly how Snowflake did in that first inning, as you say. You know, you get 2 runners on, no outs. So the key here, of course, is to put together some good hitting with smart base running.
There's a fastball low and in. Called strike 1 on Nicholas. Nicholas didn't like that call, but learned from it now, as that's going to be the zone. And here's the stretch and the pitch. Fastball runs away outside for ball 1.
It was almost a screwball looking thing there. And I you know, who knows with this wind how much that's affecting these pitches, but that definitely had movement on it.
Definite movement. Could have been a screwball, could have been a 2-seam cut fastball. There's a fastball low and in for ball 2. 2 balls, 1 strike. Cleanup hitter for the Cougars, Chandler Nicholas. Runners on first and second, 1 out here in the bottom of the first. Here's the delivery. Fastball driven out to right center. No one's catching that one, and that is gone. As Nicholas goes with it the other way on a fastball on the outside corner, and he drives it over the right center gap for a 3-run homer. And the Cougars are on the board, 3-0 here in the bottom of the first.
There was no wind aided about that. Yeah, he did get it up in the air, but he hit that ball square. Fastball right out over the middle of the plate, and he drove it.
As you said, Pon, he hit it that way. It didn't try to overswing, just went right with the pitch. Beautiful swing by Nicholas. So striking first are the Cougars. Beeler Orthodontics, live to smile, love your smile. And on that one, Chandler Nicholas is all smiles as he hits the 3-run homer to take the early lead here in the bottom of the first. After the game, if you're looking for a place to go get something to eat, Subway. Check them out, Subway, eat fresh. There's a fastball low for ball 1 to his pitching counterpart, Tristan Swanson.
Oh.
And that one hits him. That one hits him on the leg, so we're going to go hit by a pitch on Swanson, so the Cougars have another runner on.
That clipped the lead elbow, his right elbow, so that won't, of course, affect his throwing today, but they're going to have a courtesy runner come out, get him warmed up inside.
That looks like Rhett Reisdorf is going to come in to courtesy run for the pitcher Swanson. So the Cougars still battling for their playoff lives as they have a game today, and then I believe they play somebody tomorrow, and I'll have to look for that schedule.
Payson, I believe.
Payson plays Snowflake tomorrow. It might be Holbrook. That's a fastball outside for called strike 1 to Jake Tate. See if I can find their schedule. Foul ball. So Tate in a hole. No balls, 2 strikes. Yes, they play Holbrook on the 27th. So Payson tomorrow has a double header. They play at Holbrook at 1 o'clock. And then they have Tate swings and misses on that fastball for...
That's a breaking ball, wasn't it? I mean, he had him way out in front.
Way out in front. So tomorrow, as I was saying, Payson goes to play at Holbrook at 1 o'clock, and then they hop on a bus and come to Snowflake to play the Lobos at 4 o'clock. So I don't know if they had some weather issues and they just are cramming in a game. And then Show Low plays Holbrook on the 27th to finish out their season. As that ball is fouled back in front of the dugout and out of play by Jake Reedhead.
That's just inside the Snowflake dugout.
So if the
Wasey Wood trying to get over there, was able to get in position, but just ran out of room with that fence out in front of the dugout.
So if the Cougars can win out, they give themselves a chance, as the AIA's taken 32 teams this year to the state tournament, with them sitting at 40th right now, with a win against the Lobos, who are ranked 10. And then if they can win against the Roadrunners on Wednesday, I believe, who they're ranked 11th, that gives the Cougars a fighting chance to sneak into the playoffs and play again on Friday down in Phoenix. There's that cut fastball or screwball. Let go of the screwball on that one. Punt, as you were saying earlier, for a ball.
Has a lot of break on it. Unfortunately, he's just not able to get it dialed in. I mean, it starts outside and goes further outside against these right-handed hitters.
There's a fastball in the dirt. So 2 balls, 2 strikes to Jake Reedhead. 2 outs here in the bottom of the first, with the Cougars leading 3-0 over the Lobos, as Reisdorf takes his lead at first. Here's the stretch. Fastball called strike 3, as that one is right on the outside corner. As Jake Reedhead goes down looking to end the first. So the Cougars take the early lead, 3-0. So we're going to go to the top of the second. Lobos coming to bat. This is Hatch Motor Company's presentation of high school baseball on iTalk 106.7 and worldwide on iTalk1067.com.
When you think glass, think Deemer's Glass in Lakeside. Deemer's Glass offers the best selection of quality glass with affordable prices. They do full home window packages, replacement windows, custom shower doors and enclosures, custom mirrors in many shapes, styles, and colors, glass doors and hardware, commercial glass for buildings and offices, skylights, screens, fire-rated glass for your fireplace or stove, window film, and more. Visit Deemer's Glass today on Porter Mountain Road in Lakeside or call 1-888-GLASSMAN.
Need a fireplace? Ace has that. Need barbecue grills? Ace has that. Need paint? Ace is the best place for that. Need a chainsaw or weed eater? Ace has that too. Ace can even fix your chainsaw and your weed eater. Ace Hardware has everything you need for your home improvement project. They even have a 24/7 locksmith. Locked out of your home or car? Their mobile unit will come to you. That's your helpful place. Ace Hardware, the White Mountains in Pinetop, Overguard, and Show Low.
Welcome back to Show Low High School on a beautiful day for baseball in the White Mountains, as the wind's blowing straight out, 40, 50 miles an hour, something like that. And once the wind calms down, if you're ready for some summer fun, Sunrise Park is preparing to open the coolest zip line experience ever. Check out all the summer events at sunriseskipark.com. That's sunriseskipark.com. That's going to bring up Ty Pollock as he fouls off that first pitch. And now he rips one foul down the line at third. So Pollock in an 0-2 count here to lead off the top of the first for the Lobos. Lobos trailing 3-0. As Chandler Nicholas hit a 3-run homer to right center in the bottom of the first to take that early lead for the Cougars. So Lobos looking to answer back here in the top of the second. Swanson with his windup and the pitch. Curveball. Curveball in the dirt. Swanson's asking for him to check with the umpire to check with his umpire at first. He shakes his head. No, he did not go. So 1 ball, 2 strikes to number 6 hitter Ty Pollock. Swanson up, delivering. Fastball up. Ball 2, 2 balls, 2 strikes. Ace of the Cougar staff in his windup. Here's the pitch. Curveball,
nice curveball.
Swung on and missed. It is dropped and they have to throw it.
That's a great pitch by Swanson. Broke that one off with a lot of break, and it breaks in right over the middle of the plate. And Pollock takes a cut at it, but just cannot make contact.
We've seen Swanson a couple times this year, and he's got a nasty curveball. That thing's breaking and going into the wind this year or today.
It's got even more bite on it.
It's even more as he throws a cut fastball there. As Wasey Wood fouls it off for strike 1. So Swanson kicks off the top of the second with a strikeout, as that pitch is outside for ball one. If you're looking to kick off your college education, choose the college with the lowest tuition in Arizona. That's Northland Pioneer College. As Wasey fouls that one off, and today you can't give up on those foul balls over the backstop because they could blow right back into
that one looked like
territory.
It would clear our press box here behind home plate, but it ends up still staying in where it hits the backstop at least.
Bradley Clark looked up and said, that's way out of here, and then he thought twice and had to come back to the backstop as Wood hits a ground ball to second base. Fielded, thrown over to first as Wood is retired for the second out on the 4-3 putout. So 2 outs here in the top of the first, and that's going to bring up Jake Lineman, right fielder today for the Lobos.
That's Jared Williams at second, making that clean fielding play and a nice throw to first. Wasey Wood hustles down the baseline, but that's not a easy play to make.
Foul tip on an outside fastball for strike one to Lyman. Here's the windup and the pitch. Fastball driven out to right center, and that one's one hops off the fence as Lyman around first. He's going to go in with a stand-up double as Lyman takes a fastball up right down the middle and drills it into that left center gap. One hop off the fence.
We've seen 2 well-hit balls today. One was earlier in the the first by Chandler Nicholas of Show Low. Just drilled his hit, and that hit there by Lyman, he finds that gap, and as you say, just one hops it right into the fence. So a very well-hit ball by him.
Do you need glass for your home or business? Deemer's Glass in Lakeside is hands down the best place to call. Quality glass at affordable prices. Deemer's Glass. Call 1-888-GLASSMAN. And that ball is fouled straight back by the number 9 hitter, J.T. Tate. As Tate fouls one off, he's got a runner in scoring position. Swanson with the stretch. Here's the delivery. Fastball swung on and missed by Tate. So Tate in a hole. 0-2 here. 2 outs. Runner on second here in the top of the first, as the Lobos are looking to chip away at this 3-0 deficit here in the top of the second inning. Swanson looks the runner back. Here's the delivery. Fastball on the outside for ball one.
Well, being up in the count, Swanson, trying to get that hitter to go out and chase that outside fastball, but good eye by J.T. Tate.
Here's the pitch, curveball in the dirt. We talked about that nasty curveball, and Tate couldn't lay off as he goes down swinging to end the threat for the for the Lobos. Cougars coming to bat here in the bottom of the second, already leading 3-0. This is Hatch Motor Company's presentation of high school baseball on iTalk 106.7 and worldwide on iTalk1067.com.
Sunrise Park Resort is now open every Friday to Monday through Labor Day weekend. Bring the family for a full day of fun and activities, including scenic cliff rides, mountain biking and bike rentals, tube slide, airbag jump, and more. Book your reservation at the Sunrise Hotel with beautiful views of the lake and mountains, or rent a boat at the Sunrise Lake Marina. And make sure you visit our general store for all your camping and fishing needs. For more information, please call 928-735-7669 or visit our website at sunriseskipark.com.
Summit Healthcare Regional Medical Center is a proud supporter of high school sports. Many of our local sports players were born at the hospital, where Summit Obstetrics offers comfortable individual rooms for mom and baby. In case of a sports injury, the hospital ER is always staffed and prepared to take on the most serious injuries, and Summit features an advanced diagnostics department with state-of-the-art equipment. The Summit Healthcare orthopedic and therapy teams can help sports players overcome injuries and return to the game. Summit Healthcare Regional Medical Center wishes all players a successful and healthy season this year.
Welcome back to Show Low High School as the Cougars lead the Lobos 3-0 here going to the bottom of the second, looking to add to that lead. They're going to lead off with the number 8 hitter, Deegan Lettner, followed by Tanner Isaacs, and then we'll be back at the top of the order with Jared Williams facing the ace of the staff of the Lobos, Tyler Hansen. Hansen, senior lefty, getting some looks from some major league scouts, has already signed a letter of intent to go play D1 baseball at Grand Canyon. As Lettner hits a ground ball to Claridge at short, Claridge comes across, and it's a bang play at first, and he is called out on a great play by Claridge and a nice stretch there by J.R. Fox.
Yeah, great play by Claridge. He has to go to the third base side, as you say, and backhand glove that, then turn and make a really strong throw to first. And just beating the runner, Deegan Lettner, who hustles well down the line, but superb play by Claridge there at shortstop for the Lobos.
So that's going to bring up the number 9 hitter, Tanner Isaacs, playing right field today. Isaacs, left-handed hitter in the box. Here's the pitch. Fastball, ground ball hit the second base. Second baseman up, easily throws Isaacs out at first for the second out, and that's a quick 2 pitches to get the first 2 outs of the inning here for the Lobos.
Can't make it any more efficient than that, you know, especially after that long first inning with Show Low putting up their 3 runs after that 3-run homer by Chandler Nicholas. You know, Hansen would surely take a really quick inning here, or half inning, and get his guys back into the batting position, save his arm for the rest of the game.
Fastball swung on and missed for strike 1 by Williams. At the end of the broadcast, our player of the game will be brought to you by Honda Outdoor Ski and Sports Store. For the best selection of hiking, hunting, fishing, camping gear on the mountain, go to Honda Outdoor Ski and Sports Store. Yep. South of Pine Top on Highway 260.
That was an exceptional play while you were reading your cue there. Jake Stewart for Snowflake, a tough bounce in the infield on that second base side. Hit right at the seam between the grass and the infield, but makes a strong fielding play, and even better throw to J.R. Fox, who gloves it for the third out.
And that's going to retire the Lobos, or the Cougars, here in the bottom of the second, as the Lobos come to bat in the top of the third. This is Hatch Motor Company's presentation of high school baseball on iTalk 106.7 and worldwide on iTalk1067.com.
Hi folks, Gentry Hatch here. Let's face it, in today's world, there are a lot of tools out there to help you buy a car. An iPhone, Kelly Blue Book, the list goes on and on.com. At Hatch Motor Company in Snowflake and Show Low, we know that you can and will find the best deal for you. We will even help you find it if you don't happen to have a smartphone, which I believe everybody does. Remember, no hassle, no pressure, simply the best in service and sales. Hatch Motor Company in Snowflake and in Show Low, and online all the time at hatchmotorco.com.
Welcome back to Show Low High School, as we've got baseball in the White Mountains, as the Cougars are hosting the Lobos. Cougars leading 3-0 here, going to the top of the third, as Chandler Nicholas hit a 3-run homer in the bottom of the first to take that lead, and that's going to bring back up the leadoff hitter, Tyler Hansen, for the Lobos, as Hansen hit a chopper right over the head of the first baseman in the first inning for a leadoff single, as he takes the first pitch fastball outside for ball 1. And that ball is driven out to center field, and that thing is going to be long gone to dead center.
Bounces over center field.
As we've been talking about the wind here, and again, I'm not sure that one needed any wind, as Hansen barrels that one up and hits it right over the 384 sign in dead center to now cut the deficit to 3-1 here for the Lobos.
Well, you couldn't get any more center field than that hit, and you could see the ball in there. Of course, there's an elevated center field fence for about 40 feet or so in that middle section, and it bounced off the very top of that. But as you say, very well hit ball.
So that batter's eye in dead center here in Cougar Stadium, as that gets hit off the top of that for a home run, and that's going to bring up Jake Stewart, as Stewart walked his first at bat, and he fouls off the first pitch in this one for strike 1. Here's the windup from Swanson. Curveball hits him on the jersey, as Stewart is on base hit by a pitch. And that's going to bring up the number 3 hitter, J.R. Fox, as Fox is 0 for 1 on the day, as he popped up the short in the first inning. So we got a runner on first and no outs here in the top of the third inning for the Lobos, looking to cut into this deficit even more. as now they only trail by 2 here in the top of the 3rd inning. Swanson fastball fouled off the foot of Fox for strike 1.
Looks like Fox just nubbed the very top of that ball there, and as you say, just drove it right back down into his foot. But otherwise a good cut on that fastball right out over the middle of the plate.
So Fox gets his signs from his third base coach. Stewart with his lead at first. Swanson in the stretch, steps off. Stewart doesn't have a very big lead over there, just a couple steps. Got 2 steps off the bag. Here's the Fox squares around a bunt.
Interesting.
Snap throw back. Safe. So Fox went on the attempt, so he's in a hole 0-2 as he missed the bunt attempt there.
That was a tough pitch to even try to get a bat on. It was a breaking ball of some sort, and tough spot to put Fox in, but he's going to have to battle back here with 2 strikes.
So here's the pitch from Swanson, fastball up, right where Clark asked for it for ball 1. So 1 ball, 2 strikes. Number 3 hitter for the Lobos, J.R. Fox, with Jake Stewart on first here in the top of the 3rd inning with the Cougars leading 3-1. Fastball tails outside, so 2 balls, 2 strikes. The leadoff hitter this inning for the Lobos, Tyler Hansen, hit a solo homer to dead center as he barreled one up and used the wind to his advantage.
Oh, good breaking ball.
Nice curveball, and Fox lays off it. As we've seen guys not being able to lay off Swanson's curveball throughout the season and today.
Swanson can't believe that looked like it broke right over the middle of the plate, but apparently a little low.
So full count here to J.R. Fox. Here's the delivery and the pitch. Fouled off down the line. Third base in foul territory, now back in fair territory, and it falls in. And they're going to get Stewart out at second on a fielder's choice as the third baseman for the Cougars drifts in the foul territory. The wind brings it back into fair territory, and poor Jake Stewart can't do anything on that as he's just in no man's land, and the ball bounces right up to the third baseman for the Cougars, and he throws Stewart out at second for the first out of this inning.
Yeah, that's tough going for Stewart, as you say. I mean, he did what he could, getting as big a lead off of first as he possibly could, recognizing the potential of that fly ball being caught, but as soon as it drops, he had a long way to go to try to get to second in time. But credit, that infield of Show Low, Trent Williams, thinking quickly and making that quick throw to second to get the out.
So that's going to bring up the cleanup hitter for the Lobos, Taryn Reedhead, as Reedhead has a flied out the center in his first at bat. Swung on and drilled down the right field line, and it is a diving play in right field by Tanner Isaacs, as Isaacs lays out to make a play down the right field line. And from where we're sitting, punt, if he doesn't catch that, it looks like it's going to be a fair ball.
Yeah, absolutely would be fair, and had it not caught it, he would be laying out flat on the grass and allowing those Lobo runners to turn and run the bases, but great catch by Isaacs, as you say.
So that's going to bring up Tyler Claridge, senior shortstop for the Lobos. J.R. Fox on first with 2 outs here in the top of the 3rd inning, with the Cougars leading 3-1. As Claridge digs in, here's the pitch. Fastball in the dirt for ball 1. So Hansen leads off the inning with a solo homer to dead center. Stewart's hit by a pitch and then thrown out at second on a fielder's choice, as Claridge hits a line drive right back up the box, right over the head of the pitcher. As Claridge now is on first with a single, so runners on first and second here in the top of the 3rd inning.
Nice hit up to
as the Lobos are looking to get into this lead a little more here, or get cut into this deficit, I should say, of 3-1, as they've got a runner in scoring position with 2 outs. And that's going to bring up Ty Pollock, as Pollock struck out swinging his first at bat today. So he's looking to redeem himself, as Fox stands in scoring position and will be off and running on the crack of the bat.
Well, and Pollock has a quick conversation with third base coach about his strategy here with 2 runners on and 2 out. This is a place where if you can get a good timely base hit, it's going to be at least 1 run.
So Pollock hits that, tips that one straight back to the screen for strike one. Swanson in his stretch. Here's the delivery. Fastball outside for ball one. So 1 ball, 1 strike to the number 6 hitter for the Lobos, Ty Pollock. 2 outs here in the top of the 3rd inning. Lobos threatening with runners on first and second with 2 outs. Here's the pitch. Fastball outside for ball 2. 2 balls, 1 strike.
Well, Pollock being smart so far. Those last two fastballs, he check swing the first one. That was pretty close, but he's not chasing those bad pitches.
Fastball, ground ball to shortstop. Range it over to his left, flips it. Nobody there at second base as Fox comes in to score. As the shortstop, as Tate at short flips it over to Williams, I believe, from second. And Williams just couldn't handle it.
Are you going to do E6 on that?
It's an E on. I'm not sure because it looked like, from my vantage point, that Williams thought Tate was going to go just step on the base. Wasn't expecting it as Claridge with some speed goes in to second. So we'll have a error on the Cougars as Fox comes across, and now the Lobos are trailing by 1.
Well, we talked, at the top of the game, with the keys really for both teams would play really sound defense on a day like today where the wind's blowing. That's going to be really critical, and just those little errors at opportune times. A team like Snowflake will take advantage of them, and they close the gap now in the score to just 1 run.
So that's going to bring up Wasey Wood. He's in a hitter's count. 2 balls, no strikes. Runners on first and second here for the Lobos with 2 outs. 3 balls, no strikes as Swanson's fastball tails outside. So 3-0 here to the number 7 hitter, Wasey Wood, with Claridge on second and Pollock on first. 2 outs here in the top of the 3rd with the Cougars leading 3-2. Swanson in his set. Steps off as Claridge has about a 3-step lead at second. With 2 outs, he'll be getting a good secondary here as he's off and running on the crack of the bat. Swanson comes set. Here's the delivery. Fastball tails out again. So Wood walks to load the bases, and that's going to bring up Jake Lyman with the bases loaded and 2 outs.
And Lyman got the big double his last time at bat. A well-hit ball into the gap in left center. So we'll see what he can do here. And this is a big time for him to be able to crank out another hit with 3 men on.
And that's going to bring on a courtesy runner for the Lobos. Coy Kelly is going to run for the catcher Wood here. 2 outs, bases loaded. Jake Lyman up, trailing by 1. Fastball outside for ball 1. As the crowd that's battling the weather doesn't like that call. Swanson in his windup and the pitch. Fastball in the dirt, ball 2. 2 balls, no strikes. Nowhere to put them as the tying run for the Lobos is standing 90 feet away in Tyler Claridge. Go-ahead run, Ty Pollock at second base. Here's the windup and the pitch. Fastball swung through and missed.
Well, that's a well-placed pitch by Swanson. Just shaves that very outside edge of the plate. Meanwhile, Lyman kind of had like he was trying to pull that pitch instead of going with it.
Ball's in the dirt. 3 balls, 1 strike. Yeah, Lyman's back foot never stayed planted. It was gone. It was an all-arm swing punt as that last pitch was outside and swung through. It's 3 balls, 1 strike. Hitter's count here for Jake Lyman. His first at bat hit a double off the right center wall, and this one is a fly ball out to center. Center fielder coming in, and it's going to fall in as he's playing deep with the wind, and that's going to bring in 2 as Lyman hits a 2-out, 2 RBI single as the Lobos take the 4-3 lead here in the top of the 3rd inning.
Well, a great piece of hitting by Lyman. We saw him double at his first at bat. Wasn't able to score off of that double, but this time he picks up 2 RBIs, as you say. Well hit ball to center.
With Jake Reedhead playing a little deeper with the wind, that ball just died right in front of him as he was hustling in. and couldn't. As we're getting a warning from the umpire to the Show Low dugout, as the coaching staff for the Cougars isn't happy with something. I'm not sure.
Well, I heard the coach yell back that he was talking to him to make it appear as if he was trying to talk to one of his players out on the field.
That's a called strike on the outside corner to JT Tate. Tate 0 for 1 on the day. Tate also looking to redeem himself with a runner on third here. First and third here for the Lobos. That pitch is inside as it's fouled down the right field line. So Tate in a hole 0-2 as the Lobos are looking to now extend this lead on the Cougars of 4-3 as they've put up all 4 runs here in the top of the third inning to take a 4-3 lead over the Cougars. Swanson gets his sign. Here's the stretch and the delivery. Fastball right off the mask as it's fouled off Bradley Clark's head.
Well, that's a good cut by Tate. You know, down, as you say, 0-2 or with 2 strikes. He's got to protect the plate there, but he was really late in the swing, just barely able to get the bat on that.
So Tate with runners on first and third, 2 outs here in the top of the third inning for the Lobos.
What's your count, by the way?
I have 0-2.
Okay.
No balls, 2 strikes. Here's the number 9 hitter for the Lobos. As Swanson's in his stretch, here's the delivery.
Oh.
Foul tip as the runner on, as Lyman was off and running on a steal. As Tate fouls it off and Clark just couldn't hang on to it in the glove. So we're going to stay 0-2.
Well, that's a pitch up. That's high fastball outside. Tate still swinging at that. Just, again, fortunate just to barely get a piece of it to stay alive here. Pretty sure they didn't have a hit and run going on that play.
Swanson steps off with 2 strikes. I guess, I mean, you could call a hit and run, but hit and run, you're forcing a batter to swing with 2 strikes. So maybe there was a mix-up in signs, but here's the windup and the pitch. Fastball hit the second base, bobbled by the second baseman as Tate is safe as the second baseman hung back and just didn't attack that ball. So we're going to have a E4 with another run scores as Wood comes across to make it a 5-3 lead here for the Lobos in the top of the third inning.
So the Lobos go through the order here in the third, not only putting up 5 runs to go up now 5-3 against Show Low, but you know, we're starting to see a few cracks, and we talked at the top of the game about how important defense would be today on a really gusty, windy day. Both teams throwing their aces, and so far these errors are starting to add up for Show Low. Have produced 2 errors, have produced 2 runs.
And there's another one hit by Hansen deep down the right field line, and he hits another one as Hansen has 2 home runs in the inning as he drills one down the right field line, and it goes over the 336 mark for a 3-run bomb as the Lobos have now broken this game open in the third inning and now lead 7-3.
Well, Hansen definitely in a groove, as you say, 2 home runs back to back. He did not waste any time. He's found the pitch he was looking for, that fastball fat right over the middle of the plate, and he just turns on it, drives it out into right field.
So Tate comes in to score along with Jake Lyman on the 3-run bomb by Tyler Hansen for his second one of the game and second one here in the third inning. As Stewart jumps out of the way of that one, so Stewart in a hitter's count. 2 balls, no strikes. 2 outs as he hits one diving try by the third baseman, and that one goes into left field for a base hit. So Stewart with a single here in the third.
Well, a good effort by Trent Williams, the third baseman for the Cougars. He leaves his feet to try to get over to glove that ball, but just a well-hit grounder by Jake Stewart to get through and bring up J.R. Fox now.
So Stewart 1 for 1 on the day as he walked, hit by a pitch, and now singled. And that's a big looping curveball for ball 1 to the number 3 hitter, J.R. Fox. 0 for 2 on the day with a pop-up and a fielder's choice. Looking to get in on the 3rd inning hit parade here for the Lobos, as they have put up 8 here in the 3rd inning to take an 8-3 lead over the Cougars. Fastball driven out to left center, and that one is up and gone as J.R. Fox hits one out with the wind here also in the left center as he barrels one up and hits a 2-run shot, as the Lobos have now scored 10 here in the 3rd inning to take that 10-3 lead.
And that's the 3rd home run of the game for the Lobos, and all of them in this inning. You know, we kind of kidded each other with the wind today before when we were doing our pregame prep of whether we'd have a home run derby or not. And I think you had even mentioned at the top of the broadcast. And it's not as if these guys are trying to hit these balls out. I mean, these are just well-hit balls that would go out whether it was windy or not. But Snowflake definitely taking advantage. And Swanson, you know, you got to wonder in a long inning like this, you know, his pitch count has gone up quite a bit. You know, he had pretty efficient outing the first 2 innings, but this 3rd inning is really dragging on for him.
As that pitch hits Reedhead, and Reedhead stares down at the pitcher as he flips his bat, as it was just a cut fastball that clipped his jersey. It wasn't like it was thrown up at his head or in the middle of his back, but Reedhead stares down Swanson, and that's going to bring up Tyler Claridge with 2 outs here in the 3rd inning, as that is a first pitch fastball for strike 1. With 2 outs here in the top of the 3rd inning, Lobos up 10-3 as Claridge hits a base hit up the middle, as he is also 2 for 2 this inning with 2 singles to straightaway center. And that's going to bring up Ty Pollock with runners on, as the Lobos are not done here yet in the top of the 3rd inning.
Yeah, just a hit parade so far for the Lobos.
As Pollock had a...
I think that's the 7th hit of this inning, at least by my count.
Pollock drills one out, and that one is going to be a no-doubter as Ty Pollock hits a 3-run bomb of his own to left center, as the Lobos have just opened this game wide open now here in the top of the 3rd inning.
Well, they've definitely found the groove in terms of finding those pitches from Tristan Swanson, the starter, that they're looking for. And again, that's the, 4th home run of this inning, putting up all Snowflake runs so far here in the 3rd.
So Hansen with 2 home runs this inning, followed up by J.R. Fox and now Ty Pollock. And that's a big curveball for ball 1 to Wasey Wood, as Wood is 0 for 1 on the day with the ground out and a walk, as he hits a get for the 2nd time this inning also, as he swings through that big looping curveball for strike 1. So we've almost hit around. We're 3 batters away from hitting around twice in this inning, as there's another curveball outside for ball 2. 2 balls, 1 strike to the catcher, Wasey Wood. Swanson in his windup and the pitch. Fastball driven out in the center. Reedhead back, and that one is gone, as Wasey Wood hits one uses the wind as well, and hits one out to dead center just to the left of that batter's eye. And it is now 14-3 Lobos. So we'll see with 2 outs if the Cougars can get out of this and come up and start using this win to their advantage as well, and get back in this game, as they took an early 3-0 lead in the 1st inning.
And I'm trying to see if Show Low has anybody warming up.
I don't see anybody down there in the bullpen.
So they must be low on pitchers at this stage in the season.
As that's a curveball in the dirt to Jake Lineman. Wasey Wood. So Lyman with 1 ball, no strikes. Here's it's 14-3 here in the third as the Lobos have erupted for all 14 in this 1 inning. Now it's 2 balls, no strikes to Jake Lyman, as Lyman is 2 for 2 on the day with a double and a single. And there's another one, as that one is out into left center as Lyman hits one out. And now the Cougars start sending people to the bullpen as it looks like Rhett Reisdorf is running down to the bullpen to get loose, as Jake Lyman gets in on the home run derby and hits one out.
And Lyman has been doing a solid job all day. You know, he starts with the double in the second, and then since then the single that scored a run, or actually scored 2 runs in the same inning, and then follows up here with a home run. So he's been dialed in all game long. But again, you know, Swanson is battling and doing what he can, but these Lobo hitters are just finding those pitches they want and that they like. Pitches out over the middle of the plate, and they've just wasted no time of finding a way to drive those all deep.
As Lyman had a double, a single, and now the home run, as he's got the hard one left for the cycle, as all he needs is a triple here.
That's the 3rd home run in a row for Snowflake this inning.
As Tate hits a ground ball to short, Jake back with it. He can't get it, as we're going to have an infield single for JT Tate. And the Lobos have batted around twice now here in the 3rd inning, and that's going to bring up leadoff hitter Tyler Hansen, who already has 2 home runs this inning and 4 RBIs, looking to add to this 15-3 Lobo lead, as the Lobos have erupted here in the 3rd inning with 15 runs. 2 outs, runner on first. Here's the pitch. Hansen fouls that one off.
Took a big cut at it. It's an inside high tight fastball. But Hansen, you can see after hitting that home run, his 2nd of the game in this, well, actually his 2nd in his previous 2 plate appearances in this inning, he's hit a home run. So he's definitely in the home run mindset here.
Tyler Hansen led off this inning with a solo homer, and then came up again with 2 runners on and hit a 3-run homer down the right field line. He's sitting 1 ball, 1 strike, 2 outs here in the 3rd with JT Tate on first, as Hansen's looking to add to it, as that ball's grounded past the first baseman for a single. Tate around second on his way to 3rd, as Isaacs comes up with the ball, throws it into second as it gets by, and Hansen's going to go into second base on the throwing error.
Well, they're lucky that only Hansen's moving, seeing that throwing error, and not the runner at 3rd base, JT Tate. He elects to hold at 3rd, but you know, again, those little things, just the hitting the cuts and not making errors, is something that the Cougars just haven't found a way to do consistently today.
And that's going to bring up a pinch hitter, number 3, Coy Kelly, as Kelly checks into the game for Jake Stewart. Stewart leaves 1 for 1 on the day, as he had a base on ball hit by a pitch, and then had a single in his 2nd at bat of this inning. So Kelly comes in, as that first pitch is outside, I believe, for ball 1. Kelly ground ball is short. Tate up with it, bobbles it, as it's a slow roller. And we'll give that a single for Kelly, as I'm not sure even if Tate comes up with that one, he's going to get the speedy Kelly. So Kelly with a single and an RBI as JT Tate comes in to score. And that's going to bring up another pinch hitter, number 15, Arizona Bryant, for J.R. Fox. As Fox now leaves the game 1 for 3 with the homer and 2 RBIs. So runners on the corners here for the Lobos, as they've put up 15 here in the top of the 3rd inning. As that now brings up Arizona Bryant, as he fouls one off for strike 1. So Kelly on first, Hansen on 3rd here for the Lobos, as my scorebook has 3s now written all over it, punt, as we have the third inning as the Lobos have batted around twice.
I have 16.
I haven't counted mine. I'm just looking at the scoreboard. So we'll get this all squared away at the break as hits and home runs and everything else. Here's a fastball outside for ball 2. 2 balls, 1 strike to Arizona Bryant.
Well, we've been through the order twice plus 2, and in that second go around, every single person scored a run.
As Bryant lifts one out to right field, and that ball's going to get in the gap. 1 run scores. Bryant around first. Coy Kelly gets held up as third. So Bryant with a RBI double as the Lobos add, and you're right, Pon. I have 17, as so does the scoreboard operator here. And that's going to bring a mound visit. So mound visit coming from the Cougars as the Lobos have put up 17 here in the third inning.
Well, and, you know, we started this inning, the third inning, we had the solo home run by Tyler Hansen to start the inning, and then Show Low was able to get 2 pretty quick outs. But since then, we've gone through the batting order a couple of times. They just cannot find a way to get that third out. But as you say, you know, we'll get the visit finally to the mound for a pitching change.
We're going to get a pitching change here, so we're going to step away. We're going to go over our books, get hits, home runs, runs. We're going to step away for a 30-second break. This is Hatch Motor Company's presentation of high school baseball on iTalk 106.7 and worldwide on iTalk1067.com.
In today's challenging economy, having a college education is a must. Northland Pioneer College is here to help you prepare for your future. NPC is committed to providing you with the highest quality education with the lowest tuition cost in the state. We offer a variety of advanced learning classes to prepare you for a transfer or associate's degree, personal interest education, or earning your GED.
Contact an academic advisor for more information. Go online at npc.edu. When you think glass, think Deemer's Glass in Lakeside. Deemer's Glass offers the best selection of quality glass with affordable prices. They do full home window packages, replacement windows, custom shower doors and enclosures, custom mirrors in many shapes, styles, and colors, glass doors and hardware, commercial glass for buildings and offices, skylights, screens, fire-rated glass for your fireplace or stove, window film, and more. Visit Deemer's Glass today on Porter Mountain Road in Lakeside or call 1-888-GLASSMAN.
Welcome back to Show Low High School, as this third inning has been all Lobos, as the Lobos have erupted for 17 runs on 14 hits, 6 of those being home runs, as the Cougars jumped out to an early 3-0 lead in the bottom of the first on a 3-run homer by Chandler Nicholas. Went down quietly in the second, as did the Lobos. And then here in the top of the third inning, like I said, the Lobos have put up 17 runs, and they're not done, as Taryn Reedhead steps in with runners on second and third, and a new pitcher for the Cougars, as that pitch is swung through and missed for strike 1. Looks like number 7
Isaacs
for the Cougars. Tanner Isaacs comes in relief of Swanson. He's set. Here's the delivery. Fastball inside for ball 1. So the Lobos have batted around twice in this inning, as Taryn Reedhead is 0 for 2 and hit by a pitch in this game, looking to join the hit parade for the Lobos. Here's the delivery. Fastball swung and missed. Strike 2.
So Isaacs so far in relief. Tanner Isaacs facing his first hitter, doing a good, solid job so far, moving his pitches around, not leaving anything fat over the plate.
As Reedhead is the lone Lobo to not get in on this hit parade, as he fouls one off down the right field line. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
That's a big curveball there that Reedhead able to catch up to. Fouls it off. But good break on that curveball by Isaacs. Not sure what they're doing. Oh, they lost home plate. Where it's attached to the mat.
It's attached to the saw. I don't know what happened here, but home plate has come out as Bradley Clark is looking to get it fixed. So let's recap this inning as Tyler Hansen has hit 3 times here in the inning with 2 home runs and a single with 4 RBIs. Jake Stewart and Coy Kelly have hit 3 times as Kelly came in for Stewart his last at bat with a single, and Stewart got a single. J.R. Fox had a 2-run homer. Arizona Bryant then pinch hit for him, also here in the 3rd with a RBI double. Taryn Reedhead is hit by a pitch and lined out the right on a diving play by Isaacs to get that 2nd out. And with 2 outs here in the 3rd inning is when the Lobos have put up 15. So they've put up 15 runs punt with 2 outs after Hansen hit the leadoff homer. Stewart was forced out at 2nd. And then Reedhead hit that line drive down the right field line that was diving play by Tanner Isaacs. So with 2 outs, the Lobos have now batted around 1.5 times, all with 2 outs.
Crazy. It's just one of those avalanches that happens every now and then. And, you know, got to credit the Lobos. They're just doing a great job of hitting the ball. But makes it really tough for a team that is having all those runs scored on them. It's just, you know, you just wonder how you're ever going to get that 3rd and final out.
So 1 ball, 2 strikes here. The cleanup hitter, Taryn Reedhead, looking to get in on the hit parade. Here's the windup and the pitch. Fastball driven, nice play by the first baseman. He goes over and steps on first, and that's gonna end it for the Lobos as the Lobos put up 17 on 14 hits and 6 homers. We're gonna go to the bottom of the 3rd with the Lobos leading 17-3 over the Cougars. This is Hatch Motor Company's presentation of high school baseball on iTalk 106.7 and worldwide on iTalk1067.com.
Need a fireplace? Ace has that. Need barbecue grills? Ace has that. Need paint? Ace is the best place for that. Need a chainsaw or weed eater? Ace has that too. Ace can even fix your chainsaw and your weed eater. Ace Hardware has everything you need for your home improvement project. They even have a 24/7 locksmith. Locked out of your home or car, their mobile unit will come to you. That's your helpful place. Ace Hardware, the White Mountains in Pinetop, Overguard, and Show Low.
Hi folks, Gentry Hatch here. Let's face it, in today's world, there are a lot of tools out there to help you buy a car. An iPhone, Kelly Blue Book, the list goes on and on.com. At Hatch Motor Company in Snowflake and Show Low, we know that you can and will find the best deal for you. We will even help you find it if you don't happen to have a smartphone, which I believe everybody does. Remember, no hassle, no pressure, simply the best in service and sales. Hatch Motor Company in Snowflake and in Show Low, and online all the time at hatchmotorco.com.
Welcome back to Show Low High School as the Cougars are in a hole now, 17-3. And punt, all they have to do is just continue what they did in that 1st inning, putting the bat on the ball as the Lobos did. They barreled the ball up. Yes, some of those home runs wouldn't have been out of here on a normal day, but with the wind, and the Cougars could do the same thing. They just have to be patient. You can't hit a 14-run home run.
Well, and they showed that in the 1st inning, did the Cougars. They put the first 3 runs up on the board, also with a home run by Chandler Nicholas to get that 3-run homer. But yeah, you're exactly right. You just don't want to give up for sure. Meanwhile, Snowflake, they can't sit back on their heels either. They got to stay sharp, especially on the defensive side, and not allow or provide opportunities for the Cougars through errors and other things to allow the Cougars to get runners on and move those runners around the base.
Absolutely. So we've got Trent Williams up the bat for the Cougars here in the bottom of the 3rd inning as he takes a fastball outside. So 2 balls, 2 strikes here to Trent Williams. As we talked about, Cougars just looking to get something started here. You can't start pressing. You can't hit the 14-run homer to tie it up. Just get some runners on base, move them around, barrel up a ball, and kind of let the wind do the work for you.
Well, and Tyler Hansen for the Lobos, their ace, of course, he started the game. His pitch count isn't anything like what the starter for Show Low's has become. But Show Low still has found a way to hit him pretty well today. I'm looking at the scorecard here and only a couple of Ks so far. So.
And speaking of that, Williams hits a line drive right past the glove of Hansen for a single. So Williams leads off the bottom of the third for the Cougars, just as we talked about, the chip away at it. Doesn't try to lift it, doesn't try to get into the home run derby mentality. Just stays tall and drives one right back up the middle for a leadoff single. And that's going to bring up the catcher, number 11, Bradley Clark, as Clark in the first inning had a single in his only plate appearance. So runner on first here for the Cougars with no outs. And Clark drives one to right field, bounces over the head of the right fielder. It looks like Jesus Juarez is in right. And the Cougars come around as Williams comes all the way around from first on an RBI double from Bradley Clark.
And as we saw with his first at-bat in the first, that Snowflake outfield, respecting the power of Clark, they were very deep and shifted to the right field side. But regardless, Clark again just ripping one cleanly over the infield into the outfield, and gets the benefit of that high hop that the outfielder made a charge on the ball. Looked like he wanted to maybe take a shot at catching it, but by charging in also allowed that ball to bounce over.
Chandler Nicholas drives one into the gap in left field. Cut off right before the fence, as that's going to be, he's getting in, nobody covering second base, as both middle infielders went out for the cut. And that's going to be an RBI double for Nicholas as Bradley Clark comes around to score. And just as we talked about, Pont, you stay short, stay calm, just stay within yourself, because on a windy day like this, anything can happen.
Absolutely.
So the score now is 17-5 in favor of the Lobos. And that's going to bring up lefty Tristan Swanson, as Swanson hits a fly ball as the second baseman drifting out makes the catch. So Swanson is retired on a pop fly to the second baseman for the first out of the inning. That's going to bring up shortstop Jake Tate. Tate 0 for 1 on the day with a strikeout in the first. Comes into this game hitting .317 on the season. Runner on second as Tate takes first pitch right down the middle for strike one. So one out, runner on second for the Cougars here in the bottom of the third. Trailing by 12.
Nice curveball.
Curveball on the outside corner from Hansen. 0-2 to Jake Tate. Hansen with the delivery. Curveball swung on and missed as Tate goes down for the second time on that curveball.
Yeah, so those last two curveballs, the first starts outside and just comes in and nibbles the very outside edge. That second curveball comes more inside, right out over the middle of the plate. But Jake Tate just really struggling to get a hold of that pitch.
So 2 outs here in the inning for the Cougars. There's another curveball outside for ball one to Jake Reedhead. Reedhead went down looking at his first at bat, as the Cougars started out strong this inning with the first 2 runners scoring, and now the last 2 batters have gone down, as this one is driven down the right field line, and that's going to be just inside the line, and we're got to throw into, so run scores, and we are safe at second as Reedhead gets an RBI single, and then it advances the second from the throw from right field. So Nicholas comes around to score. Reedhead on the second with the single and the RBI. And the Cougars are chipping away as the score is now 17-6. Big looping curveball for strike one to Deegan Lettner. Lettner had a ground ball to short and was retired in his first at bat. Runner on second with 2 outs. Fastball, ground ball to second. Coy Kelly backs up, throws over to first base, and that will do it here in the third, as Lettner is retired on the 4-3 putout. And we're going to go to the top of the 4th inning with the Lobos leading 17-6. This is Hatch Motor Company's presentation of high school baseball on iTalk 106.7 and worldwide on iTalk1067.com.
Sunrise Park Resort is now open every Friday to Monday through Labor Day weekend. Bring the family for a full day of fun and activities, including scenic cliff rides, mountain biking and bike rentals, tube slide, airbag jump, and more. Book your reservation at the Sunrise Hotel with beautiful views of the lake and mountain, or rent a boat at the Sunrise Lake Marina. And make sure you visit our general store for all your camping and fishing needs. For more information, please call 928-735-7669 or visit our website at sunriseskipark.com.
Hi folks, Gentry Hatch here. Let's face it, in today's world, there are a lot of tools out there to help you buy a car. An iPhone, Kelley Blue Book, the list goes on and on.com. At Hatch Motor Company in Snowflake and Show Low, we know that you can and will find the best deal for you. We will even help you find it if you don't happen to have a smartphone, which I believe everybody does. Remember, no hassle, no pressure, simply the best in service and sales. Hatch Motor Company in Snowflake and in Show Low, and online all the time at hatchmotorco.com. Welcome
back to Show Low High School as we've got baseball in the White Mountains with the Lobos leading the Cougars 17-6 here going to the top of the 4th. And Punt, you've got a great task of finding our player of the game at the end of this, and our player of the game is brought to you by Honda Outdoor Ski and Sports Store. For the best selection of hiking, hunting, fishing, camping gear on the mountain, go to Honda Outdoor Ski and Sports Store, south of Pine Top on Highway 260. That's going to bring up Tyler Claridge here in the top of the 4th as he takes fastball outside, ball 1 from Tanner Isaacs as Isaacs comes in relief. As that ball is hit over the second baseman into the gap, and it's going to be cut off nicely by Reedhead in center, holding Claridge to that single.
Well, again, just another well-hit ball by Claridge. That pitch a little outside, but he just goes with it, as you say, hitting it over the second baseman. So really, you know, throughout the lineup, it's going to be really tough to find a player of the game. This entire Snowflake lineup today has just been doing a great job at the plate.
And that's going to bring up another pinch hitter. Number 6, Mark McCleve, is going to pinch hit for Ty Pollock here in the 4th inning. As that ball is past the catcher to the backstop as Claridge moves up the second on the wild pitch from Isaacs. So McCleve in a 1-ball, no strike count.
It sure does. A lot of stuff can come right to your door.
If you're needing getting ready for some summer fun, Sunrise Park is preparing to open the coolest zip line experience ever. Check out all the summer events at sunriseskipark.com. That's sunriseskipark.com. McCleve swings through that low fastball for strike 1. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Well, it's a good cut at that fastball by McCleve, but low enough in the zone for him he just had a tough time catching up to it, but otherwise a really good, clean cut.
Isaacs in the stretch, looking at second base. Shortstop comes in behind him, goes back, here's the delivery. Fastball, foul tip for strike 2. 1 ball, 2 strikes. So far, it's been all smiles for the Lobos here in Show Low. Beeler Orthodontics, live to smile, love your smile. McCleve, 1 ball, 2 strikes. No outs here in the top of the 4th. Here's the delivery. Cut fastball fouled off the Cougar dugout by McCleve. So Claridge on second as he led off the inning with a single. Moved up to second on the wild pitch. Cougars started out with a 3-0 lead in the bottom of the second. Both teams went quietly in this, or in the bottom of the first, I should say. Then both teams went quietly here in the second inning, respectively. Here's the pitch. Curveball hit out to left field. Left fielder plays it off the hop as McCleve comes in a pinch hit roll and gets a single. So that will move Claridge up to third and McCleve to first. As I was saying, Cougars and Lobos both went down quietly in the second. And then in the third, the Lobos put up the 17 runs on 14 hits and 6 homers to take the 17-3 lead. And then the Cougars rallied back with 3 runs of their own the bottom of the third to get within 11. And now the Cougars are looking to answer again with Wasey Wood coming up with runners on the corners with 1 out or no outs here in the top of the 4th inning. Isaacs comes set. Here's his delivery and pitch. Ball hit up high into center field. Reed head under it as Claridge tags from third. So we'll have a sac fly from Wood as Claridge comes in to score. So Claridge comes in on the sacrifice fly to center with an RBI by Wood.
Well, that's a ball hit very high in the air, and normally I don't think it would have gone as deep as it did, but with that wind blowing out from home plate into center today, forced the center fielder Reedhead to drift back quite a ways and giving plenty of room for that runner to be able to score Tyler Claridge from third base.
And that's going to bring up another pinch hitter, number 8, Jesus Juarez, who's taken over in right field for Jake Lyman, as Lyman exits 3 for 3 on the day with 3 RBIs, as he was only a triple short of the cycle. Here's the pitch to Juarez as he hits it foul down the left field line, just foul past the third base line.
And again, you know, not to belabor the point, but this Snowflake Lobo team at the plate today really giving these Show Low pitchers no reprieve at all. They've been hitting solidly from the 1 all the way through the 9 spot.
Here's the delivery from curveball up and out for ball 1. Yeah, there's only been, I'm not going to say names to pick on anybody, but there's only been 1 Lobo hitter that hasn't gotten a hit in this game so far. As Juarez pinch hitting for Jake Lyman, as a pick over to the first, diving back in is McCleve. So the Lobos answer with 1 here to take the 18-6 lead here in the top of the 4th. Runner on with 1 out. Ball in dirt, nice block by Bradley Clark.
Great job by Clark keeping that ball out in front. He's not able to scoop it cleanly initially, but he keeps it right out in front of him.
Clark's done a great job all year bodying up, helping his pitchers out. As a pitcher, if you have confidence in your catcher and he's going to block curveballs in the dirt, you're more respected to throw. As he snap throws down, it can't be handled by the first baseman as the ball's in the dirt. So we're 2 balls, 2 strikes here to Juarez as he's pinch hitting for Jake Lyman. 1 out here in the top of the 4th inning. On a beautiful day here in Show Low. Curveball ripped past the shortstop, Tate. As we're gonna run, as McCleve goes into third. And Jesus Juarez with the double into the left field or left center gap past the shortstop. So that's gonna put Juarez with the double. McCleve goes over to the third, and that's gonna bring up number 9 hitter JT Tate. 1 out here in the top of the 4th. Runners on second and third, and the Lobos leading 18-6. Looking to add to that as Tate comes in 1 for 3 on the day. Strikeout back in the second, had a error by the second baseman in the third, and then a single in the third. Curveball outside for ball 1.
That curveball, that pitch there stayed outside and just, well, started outside and just stayed outside, never did break in.
Fastball drilled up the middle, right off the base, as 2 runs are going to come in to score. As just the bad luck is Jake Tate ranging to his left, looked like he had a beat on the ball, and the ball hits off the second base bag and ricochets into left field. So Tate with 2 RBI single to now it's 20-6 Lobos. So McLeaf comes in to score with Jesus Juarez. And that's going to bring up leadoff hitter Tyler Hansen, as Hansen is 4 for 4 on the day with 2 homers and 4 RBIs to go along with his stats on the mound today. As that fastball is in the dirt for ball 1. So runner on first, 1 out here in the top of the 4th.
And that runner, JT Tate, getting a good lead at first.
Lefty Isaacs looks back Tate. That pitch is outside for ball 2. 2 balls, no strikes to Tyler Hansen, hitting .440 coming into this game. And he just added to that as he's already 4 for 4 on the day. Fastball up, ball 3, 3 balls, no strikes. Runner on first, 1 out here in the top of the 4th. Lobos looking to extend this huge lead that they have of 20-6. Cougars just looking to get back in the dugout and start chipping away as Hansen drills one in on the 3-0 count, puts one into right center as Hansen gets a single, and he is now 5 for 5 on the day as Tate moves up to third. And that's going to bring up Coy Kelly, as Kelly came in to pinch hit for Jake Stewart in the 3rd inning and got a single in his own lone at bat so far. So runners on the corners, 1 out here for the Lobos in the top of the 4th. Already leading 20-6. Cougars looking to get a double play here as the middle infield is at double play depth. That first pitch is in the dirt for ball 1. Cougars just looking to get out of this and get back in the dugout for a chance to chip away again at this deficit. And with this wind, punt, we've talked, anything can happen. Is, not that the wind has been what the Lobos have done, because they've hit the ball extremely well today.
They've hit the ball really solid today.
But with a day like this, 40 mile an hour up to 60 mile an hour gusts out the dead center, anything's possible.
Absolutely. And they'll bring a jacket out to Hansen at first because of the wind being as stiff as it is. He, of course, is pitching for the Lobos today.
So we got 1 out here in the top of the 4th inning. Runners on the corners with Coy Kelly up. Here's the delivery from Isaacs. Popped up into the infield. Second baseman's under it. He makes the catch right in front of the second base bag. So now we've got 2 outs here in the 4th inning. And that's going to bring up Arizona Bryant, as Bryant had a double and an RBI as he took over for J.R. Fox in the 3rd inning, as the Lobos hit around twice in that 3rd. As Bryant comes up and he lays off that high fastball for ball 1. 2 outs, runners on the corners for the Lobos here in the top of the 4th inning. Isaacs looks back the runner at first. In the stretch, here's the delivery. Fastball up for ball 2. Hitters count here, 2 balls, no strikes. For the Lobos, looking to add this lead as the wind's picking up again. Looking at the flag in left field, it is just dead stiff to center field. Like there's not a whole lot of ripple in it. It's ground ball passed underneath the glove of Jake Tate at short, as JT Tate comes in to score on the E6 by Bryant. And we're bringing up Taryn Reedhead, as the Lobos once again have batted around here, or gone. This will be the 9th hitter they send to the plate. And Taryn Reedhead looking to get in on the hit parade here, as Reedhead is 0 for 2 and hit by a 0 for 3 and hit by a pitch. That fastball is up for ball 1. Reedhead flew out the center in the 1st. Diving play in right by Tanner Isaacs that robbed Reedhead of a hit in the 3rd, and he was hit by a pitch in the 3rd, and then also popped up in the 3rd, as that pitch is up and out for ball 2. So Reedhead in a hitter's count, 2 balls, no strikes. as the Lobos are now up 21-6 here in the top of the 4th inning. Here's the pitch. Curveball outside for ball 3. 3-0. Runners on first and second. 2 outs here in the top of the 4th. Reedhead digs in. Isaacs with the stretch. Here's the delivery. Fastball low and inside, so Reedhead will walk. And now the Lobos have batted around as the bases are now loaded.
Well, you know, you mentioned that Reedhead is, I think, the only Lobo today not to get a base hit, but he has been very disciplined at the plate in terms of looking pitches and being very selective about what he swings at. So just not able to find a hit today. But other than that, he's been pretty solid at the plate.
So that first pitch to Claridge, called strike on the outside corners. Claridge is batting for the 2nd time in this inning. Fastball up, snap throw down the first as Reedhead is in safely on a nice throw by Clark.
So bases loaded and 2 out here with Claridge at the plate.
And that nice stop by Bradley Clark as that pitch is head to the backstop, and Clark just gets, it looks like, his wrist on it.
Well, that's a wild pitch. He has to actually reach behind the hitter, Claridge, to glove that ball, or wrist it, I guess. But like you say, just outstanding work by him to keep that ball out in front and freeze the runners.
Claridge takes that cut fastball on the outside corner for strike 2. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Bases loaded here for the Lobos as they lead 21-6 here in the top of the 4th. Here's the delivery, cut fastball outside for ball 3. Full count to Tyler Claridge as the runners will be off and going. Do you need glass for your home or business? Deemer's Glass in Lakeside is hands down the best place to call. Quality glass at affordable prices. Deemer's Glass. Call 1-888-GLASSMAN. Full count. Runners will be on the move here as Isaac's in the windup. Runners are off. Fastball up for ball 4 as Claridge walks and gets an RBI here in the 4th inning. As, let's see, that's Arizona Bryant comes in to score. Nope, that's Hansen comes in to score.
Yep.
Bryant will be now at third base.
Reedhead at second.
Reedhead at second, and Tyler Claridge at first on the walk. And that's going to bring up Mark McCleve as McCleve pinch hit for Ty Pollock back in that 3rd inning, or in the 4th inning, I should say. So he's up for his 2nd time this inning. He had a single, and now he hits a chopper to short. Jake Tate just knocks it down, can't make a play, as now the ball gets by the pitcher as Clark comes sliding over to make sure nothing else gets going. So Bryant comes in to score on the E6. So Taryn Reedhead moves up to 3rd.
That was a tough hop, but Tate, you know, tried to do what he can with it, but it just handcuffed him coming up on that short hop, and just not able to make a play at all. Meanwhile, 1 more run scores for the Lobos.
So Wood drills a single into left as the Lobos hold up at 3rd. That's going to bring in Reedhead to score as Wood gets a single and an RBI. As, let's see, that's Taryn Reedhead comes in to score, like I said. So now we got bases still loaded as Jesus Juarez comes up for his 2nd time of this inning as he pinch hit for Jake Lyman. Got a double earlier in this inning as he's in a hitter's count now, 2 balls and no strikes. Bases loaded, 2 outs here in the top of the 4th. Lobos up 24-6 over the Cougars. Here's the windup and a fastball. Looks like he just didn't have a grip on that one.
And again, great job by Clark, Bradley Clark. You know, that pitch had backstop written all over it. You can see at the release, it just got away from the pitcher Isaacs. But for Clark to be able to reach out and grab that, just outstanding work by him.
So the Cougars roared out first in the bottom of the 1st inning, putting up 3 on a Nicholas 3-run homer. Both teams went away quietly in the second, and then the Lobos erupted for the 17 runs in the third inning. And then the bottom of the third, the Cougars came back with 3 of their own. And now the Lobos have answered here, hitting around as Juarez draws a walk and an RBI to score Claridge.
Beginning Major League Baseball Hall of Famer Bob Feller pitched over 2,500 strikeouts in his career. Bob said, every day is a new opportunity to build on yesterday's success or put his failures behind and start over again.
So we got a visit from the manager as he's going to take out Isaacs. We'll see who our new pitcher will be as
looks like they're going to switch between Tanner Isaacs.
As Isaacs exits the game here.
I'm sorry, that's Lettner they're going to bring to the mound.
So Lettner's going to come in from right field as he gets some warm-up pitches. We'll take a break. We'll come back, recap this inning for the pitching change. We'll take a break. This is high school baseball presented by Hatch Motor Company on iTalk 106.7 and worldwide iTalk1067.com.
Summit Healthcare Regional Medical Center is a proud supporter of high school sports. Many of our local sports players were born at the hospital, where Summit Obstetrics offers comfortable individual rooms for mom and baby. In case of a sports injury, the hospital ER is always staffed and prepared to take on the most serious injuries, and Summit features an advanced diagnostics department with state-of-the-art equipment. The Summit Healthcare orthopedic and therapy teams can help sports players overcome injuries and return to the game. Summit Healthcare Regional Medical Center wishes all players a successful and healthy season this year.
In today's challenging economy, having a college education is a must. Northland Pioneer College is here to help you prepare for your future. NPC is committed to providing you with the highest quality education with the lowest tuition cost in the state. We offer a variety of advanced learning classes to prepare you for a transfer or associate's degree, personal interest education, or earning your GED.
Contact an academic advisor for more information. Go online at npc.edu.
Orthodontist Dr. Joshua Beeler has been providing family-friendly orthodontics in Show Low and the entire White Mountains since 2006. If you need braces, stop in and see the friendly folks at Beeler Orthodontics and meet their professional staff. Dr. Beeler and his team have the latest in orthodontics technology, and they work with each patient individually to custom tailor the most effective treatment plan for the best results. Beeler Orthodontics is a proud sponsor of high school sports. Beeler Orthodontics, live to smile, love your smile.
After a 17-run third inning to take the 25-6 lead as JT Tate is up to bat with the bases loaded, and it's a 2-ball, no-strike count. As we've got Juarez on first, Wood is on second as that ball is fouled off for strike one. So 2 balls, 1 strike. Wood on second. It looks like Mark McCleve over at third base for the Lobos. 2 outs here in the top of the 4th inning. JT Tate, nice block there in the dirt by Bradley Clark as he slides to his right. So 3 balls, 1 strike. As this 4th inning, the Lobos have batted around again.
Well, they've also, Sholo's also walked in a couple of runs today with in this inning with bases loaded, where we have bases loaded here. Lettner fights back to work the count to full.
So full count here as Tate swings through an inside fastball. So runners will be on the move here. Fastball hit, 1 hop to third. Third baseman just jogs over, steps on third, and that will end the inning as the Lobos put up 8 in the 4th to take a 26-6 lead. So we're going to go to the bottom of the 4th inning. Cougars have some work to do. And this is Hatch Motor Company's presentation of high school baseball on iTalk 106.7 and worldwide on iTalk1067
Hi folks, Gentry Hatch here. Let's face it, in today's world, there are a lot of tools out there to help you buy a car. An iPhone, Kelly Blue Book, the list goes on and on.com. At Hatch Motor Company in Snowflake and Show Low, we know that you can and will find the best deal for you. We will even help you find it if you don't happen to have a smartphone, which I believe everybody does. Remember, no hassle, no pressure, simply the best in service and sales. Hatch Motor Company in Snowflake and in Show Low, and online all the time at hatchmotorco.com.
Sunrise Park Resort is now open every Friday to Monday through Labor Day weekend. Bring the family for a full day of fun and activities, including scenic cliff rides, mountain biking and bike rentals, tube slide, airbag jump, and more. Book your reservation at the Sunrise Hotel with beautiful views of the lake and mountain, or rent a boat at the Sunrise Lake Marina. And make sure you visit our general store for all your camping and fishing needs. For more information, please call 928-735-7669 or visit our website at sunriseskipark.com.
Welcome back to Show Low High School as the Cougars are hosting the Lobos here at Baseball in the White Mountains. And the Lobos are out to a 25-6 lead as they've hit 6 home runs on their way to a 17-run third, and then followed that up with an 8-run fourth to get all their runs in those 2 innings, as the Cougars started out big with a 3-run homer of their own in the bottom of the first for the 3-run lead, and then got 3 again in the fourth for their 6 runs. So we'll see what they can do here in the bottom of the fourth, as we're in the 5-inning run rule territory here, Punt, with this lead being at 19.
Right. Well, as you might expect, with Snowflake putting up that many runs, Show Low is up to their 3rd pitcher so far in this ball game, but Snowflake, on the other hand, staying with their starter Tyler Hansen. He's had a solid outing, but these Show Low hitters have found a way to hit him pretty well today as well. So we'll just have to see if they can keep chipping away here. But they're definitely getting into the zone, the Cougars are, where they're going to have to put up a lot of runs here just to keep this game going.
And that's going to bring up a pinch hitter here for the Cougars, number 4. Looking for a name here as there's a 1-ball, 1-strike count.
Gardenier.
Number 4, Gardenier. We'll get a first name for you, as we don't have that on our scorecard, as that pitch is right down the middle for a called strike 2. So 1 ball, 2 strikes for the pinch hitter, Gardenier. Looking to get on base here. If you're looking for somewhere to go eat after the game, go to Subway. Subway, eat fresh. As that pitch is outside for ball 2. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Hansen in the windup. Fastball outside for ball 3. 3 balls, 2 strikes to Gardenier as he's leading off this bottom of the 4th inning. Hansen with his windup and the delivery. Fastball swung on and missed for the first out of this inning, and that's going to bring up leadoff hitter Jared Williams, as Williams comes in 0 for 1 on the day as he walked in the first. And then got a ground ball to the first base in his second at bat. And that first pitch is taken on the outside corner for a called strike 1. Fastball outside, ball 1. When it comes time to kick off your college education, choose a college with the lowest tuition in Arizona, and that's Northland Pioneer College. As Williams swings through that one for strike 2. So 1 ball, 2 strikes to the Cougar leadoff hitter.
Well, we talked today, this wind today has just been brutal. But one big difference also between Snowflake and Show Low, apart from just the run imbalance, is, we had the 1 solo home run by Chandler Nicholas in the first to allow Show Low to put up their first 3 runs. And since then, these Show Low hitters, even though they've been finding ways to get hits, they haven't really been challenging that Snowflake outfield much today.
There's a first pitch curveball to Trent Williams for strike one as Jared Williams goes down swinging for the second out of this bottom of the fourth. Trent Williams comes in 1 for 1 on the day with a walk and a run scored as that screwball goes to the backstop for ball one.
Of course, with no runners on, Wood doesn't even get out of his crouch to go attempt to chase that. That pitch was way outside.
So Hansen gets his sign, shakes it off. Here's his windup and the pitch. Curveball called strike two. 1 ball, 2 strikes. So once this wind ends, if you're looking to kick off some summer fun, Sunrise Ski Park is preparing to open the coolest zipline experience ever. Check out all the summer events at sunriseskipark.com. That's sunriseskipark.com as Williams goes down swinging. So that's 3 strikeouts in the inning as the Cougars go in order. We're going to go to the top of the 5th with the Lobos leading 25-6. This is Hatch Motor Company's presentation of high school baseball on iTalk 106.7 and worldwide on iTalk1067.com.
Summit Healthcare Regional Medical Center is a proud supporter of high school sports. Many of our local sports players were born at the hospital, where Summit Obstetrics offers comfortable individual rooms for mom and baby. In case of a sports injury, the hospital ER is always staffed and prepared to take on the most serious injuries, and Summit features an advanced diagnostics department with state-of-the-art equipment. The Summit Healthcare orthopedic and therapy teams can help sports players overcome injuries and return to the game. Summit Healthcare Regional Medical Center wishes all players a successful and healthy season this year.
Orthodontist Dr. Joshua Beeler has been providing family-friendly orthodontics in Show Low and the entire White Mountains since 2006. If you need braces, stop in and see the friendly folks at Beeler Orthodontics and meet their professional staff. Dr. Beeler and his team have the latest in orthodontics technology, and they work with each patient individually to custom tailor the most effective treatment plan for the best results. Beeler Orthodontics is a proud sponsor of high school sports. Beeler Orthodontics, live to smile, love your smile.
Welcome back to Show Low High School as we are live with baseball here in the White Mountains on a beautiful blue sky day. There's no clouds in the sky anymore, but there is that 40 to 60 mile an hour wind blowing out the center field.
Little wind.
That little breeze that we get up here in the White Mountains. My parents actually live in Mesa, and they're talking about they had a 20 mile an hour wind the other day, and I said, oh, that'd be nice. That's just a little breeze for us up here. We'd love that. So that's going to bring up Tyler Hansen here in the top of the 5th with the Lobos up 25-6. As Hansen swings through that first one for strike one. Hansen 5 for 5 on the day with 3 singles, 2 homers back in the 3rd inning with 4 RBIs. As he jumps out of the way of that one in the dirt. 2 balls, 1 strike. As the Lobos have hit 6 home runs here in the game, and all those 6 came back in the 3rd inning as Hansen swings through that changeup to even up the count. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
So Lettner doing his work here, challenging one of the better hitters on this Snowflake club. Doing a good job so far, changing speeds as you say.
That last pitch is in the dirt for ball 3, so full count to the leadoff hitter, Tyler Hansen. Hansen digs in. Here's the windup from Lettner and the pitch. Fastball swung on and missed on the outside corner to retire Hansen for the first time today, as Lettner's got some movement on that fastball that tails away from the lefty Hansen.
Yep. Definitely working that outside edge of the plate, against Hansen, who all day today has been very consistent and doing a great job of hitting the ball, but just good piece of pitching there by Lettner.
So that's going to bring up Coy Kelly as he takes first pitch called strike. Kelly 1 for 2 on the day with a single back in the 3rd, and then he popped up the 2nd in the 4th. That fastball in the dirt for ball 1, so 1 ball, 1 strike to Coy Kelly, second baseman for the Lobos. Lobos had 14 hits in the third inning, responded with 17 runs, responded back in the fourth inning with 6 hits and 8 runs, as Kelly takes a fastball on the outside corner for called strike 2. Like I said, the Cougars started out big in the first with the 3-run homer, and then went away quietly in the second, got 3 in the third, and then went down in order here in the fourth with their no hits and no runs. They scored the 3 in the third on 2 hits, as Kelly takes that pitch outside for ball 2. So 2 balls, 2 strikes to the second baseman for the Lobos. Letner gets his sign. Here's his windup and the pitch. Fastball right down the middle, taken for strike 3. As Kelly goes down looking.
Sorry, Brian, that pitch high in the zone, and I think that's why the hitter turns to look at the umpire, but he's going to go ahead and ring him up.
Well, being on that side for a few years, when it's 25-6, the strike zone does get a little bit bigger.
Understandably so.
As that pitch is right down the middle for strike 1 to Arizona Bryant. Bryant came into this game with a RBI double back in the third, and then there was an E6 in the fourth. As we are 1 ball, 1 strike to Bryant. 2 outs here in the top of the 5th. The Lobos up 25-6.
Whoa!
As that one is behind Bryant.
Well, we did a game a few weeks ago where a hitter didn't move his bat like that one there.
Yep.
It went into play, hitting the bat behind the hitter. That one came pretty close to doing the same thing.
Fastball, 1 hop down, backhand by the third baseman, picks up, strong throw across.
Nice.
And Brian is out, as there's a nice play by the Cougar third baseman, Trent Williams. Backhand over the bag, knocks it down, able to throw out Brian at first for the 5-3. So that's going to end the 5th inning for the Lobos as they go in order. So we're going to go to the bottom of the 5th with the Cougars needing some runs to stay in this game and continue the game. This is Hatch Motor Company's presentation of high school baseball on iTalk 106.7 and worldwide on iTalk1067.com.
In today's challenging economy, having a college education is a must. Northland Pioneer College is here to help you prepare for your future. NPC is committed to providing you with the highest quality education with the lowest tuition cost in the state. We offer a variety of advanced learning classes to prepare you for a transfer or associate's degree, personal interest education, or earning your GED.
Contact an academic advisor for more information. Go online at npc.edu. When you think glass, think Deemer's Glass in Lakeside. Deemer's Glass offers the best selection of quality glass with affordable prices. They do full home window packages, replacement windows, custom shower doors and enclosures, custom mirrors in many shapes, styles, and colors, glass doors and hardware, commercial glass for buildings and offices, skylights, screens, fire-rated glass for your fireplace or stove, window film, and more. Visit Deemer's Glass today on Porter Mountain Road in Lakeside or call 1-888-GLASSMAN.
Park.com for details.
Welcome back to Show Low High School. As we are here in the bottom of the 5th, the Cougars have some work to do as the 10-run rule is in effect here in the 5th inning with the Lobos up 25-6. As Tyler Hansen is still on the mound for the Lobos, as he'll get his work in today. And then I would just assume he'll throw Friday in the first round of the playoffs for the Lobos, as Bradley Clark steps in and takes the first pitch curveball for ball 1. That's a fly ball out to left. In comes JT Tate, makes the catch as he's playing deep with the wind, comes racing in to retire Clark here in the bottom of the 5th inning.
That's a great play in left field that time. You know, it's a pretty cleanly hit, high hit ball, but with that wind today and how it's been acting up, especially for those outfielders, they have to play it fairly conservatively, and he does a good job there gathering up.
So I'll bring up the cleanup hitter for the Cougars, Chandler Nicholas, as he takes first pitch curveball, called strike 1. Nicholas 2 for 2 on the day, as he has a homer in the 3-run homer in the first. And then I have him scoring back in the third. Do you have what he did in that third inning punt? Because
Nicholas
had a
him score
double
on a double.
So Nicholas
and an RBI.
Homer and a double, 3-run homer and a double back in the third as he takes that pitch outside. So 2 balls, 1 strike to Chandler Nicholas. Nicholas scored both times he's come to the plate. He's reached base safely twice and scored twice as that fastball is in the dirt for ball 3. So 3 balls and 1 strike. Lobos face Payson tomorrow in Snowflake. Cougars will wrap up their season on Wednesday with the Holbrook Roadrunners as that pitch is foul tipped right into the glove for strike 3. And the second out of the inning here, so the Cougars are down to their final out. And that's going to bring up Tristan Swanson, as Swanson is 0 for 1 today as he's hit by a pitch back in the 4th and then popped up the 2nd. So the playoffs start Friday. First round for baseball will be in the Valley, I believe at Surprise Sports Complex on Friday, and then Saturday. And then they go again the next weekend. And then they have a week off for the championship game. As Swanson says, I'm not going to end this game. He hits a rope single through the 3-4 hole into right field. So Swanson's aboard.
And we've seen Hansen for Snowflake do a good job today of moving, pitches around. He's been living on that outside edge most of the game with most of these hitters, but that pitch there leaves it right flat out over the middle of the plate, and Swanson makes him pay.
And that's going to bring up Jake Tate as he hits one down the right field line, just foul for strike 1. Tate comes into this game hitting .317 on the year, and he is 0 for 2 with 2 strikeouts swinging today. Looking to not be this final out of the game as the Cougars are in jeopardy of the 10-run rule here in the bottom of the 5th inning, down 25-6. Curveball swung on and missed for strike 2 as Tate's gone down swinging both times today on that curveball. So we'll see if Hansen comes back with another one. Hansen gets his sign, comes set. Here's the delivery. There it is. And that is strike 3. And that should do it, as that is the ball game, as the run rule does come to effect as the Lobos beat the Cougars here 25-6. We'll come back with final stats, thoughts, player of the game in a moment. This is Hatch Motor Company's presentation of high school baseball on iTalk 106.7 and worldwide on iTalk1067.com.
Need a fireplace? Ace has that. Need barbecue grills? Ace has that. Need paint? Ace is the best place for that. Need a chainsaw or weed eater? Ace has that too. Ace can even fix your chainsaw and your weed eater. Ace Hardware has everything you need for your home improvement project. They even have a 24/7 locksmith. Locked out of your home or car, their mobile unit will come to you. That's your helpful place. Ace Hardware, the White Mountains in Pinetop, Overguard, and Show Low.
Hi folks, Gentry Hatch here. Let's face it, in today's world, there are a lot of tools out there to help you buy a car. An iPhone, Kelly Blue Book, the list goes on and on.com. At Hatch Motor Company in Snowflake and Show Low, we know that you can and will find the best deal for you. We will even help you find it if you don't happen to have a smartphone, which I believe everybody does. Remember, no hassle, no pressure, simply the best in service and sales. Hatch Motor Company in Snowflake and in Show Low, and online all the time at hatchmotorco.com.
When you think glass, think Deemer's Glass in Lakeside. Deemer's Glass offers the best selection of quality glass with affordable prices. They do full home window packages, replacement windows, custom shower doors and enclosures, custom mirrors in many shapes, styles, and colors, glass doors and hardware, commercial glass for buildings and offices, skylights, screens, fire-rated glass for your fireplace or stove, window film, and more. Visit Deemer's Glass today on Porter Mountain Road in Lakeside or call 1-888-GLASSMAN.
In today's challenging economy, having a college education is a must. Northland Pioneer College is here to help you prepare for your future. NPC is committed to providing you with the highest quality education with the lowest tuition cost in the state. We offer a variety of advanced learning classes to prepare you for a transfer or associate's degree, personal interest education, or earning your GED.
Contact an academic advisor for more information. Go online at npc.edu.
Orthodontist Dr. Joshua Beeler has been providing family-friendly orthodontics in Show Low and the entire White Mountains since 2006. If you need braces, stop in and see the friendly folks at Beeler Orthodontics and meet their professional staff. Dr. Beeler and his team have the latest in orthodontics technology, and they work with each patient individually to custom tailor the most effective treatment plan for the best results. Beeler Orthodontics is a proud sponsor of high school sports. Beeler Orthodontics, lit to smile, love your smile.
Need a fireplace? Ace has that. Need barbecue grills? Ace has that. Need paint? Ace is the best place for that. Need a chainsaw or weed eater? Ace has that too. Ace can even fix your chainsaw and your weed eater. Ace Hardware has everything you need for your home improvement project. They even have a 24/7 locksmith. Locked out of your home or car, their mobile unit will come to you. That's your helpful place. Ace Hardware of the White Mountains in Pinetop, Overguard, and Show Low.
Show Low High School. We had baseball on a beautiful windy day in Show Low as the Lobos come into Show Low and take down the Cougars 25-6 in a shortened 5-inning game due to the run rule. Lobos exploded in the third inning for 14 hits and 17 runs, and then capped that off again in the fourth with 6 hits and 8 runs for all of their scoring in those two innings, as Tyler Hansen goes the distance to get the win for the Lobos on the mound. Also going 5 for 6, 2 homers and 4 RBIs in the game, as Jake Stewart was 1 for 2 along with Coy Kelly. J.R. Fox and Arizona Bryant 1 for 3 respectively. Taryn Reedhead 0 for 2 on the day, with a walk, a hit by a pitch, and 2 runs scored. Tyler Claridge 3 for 3 on the day, with 4 runs scored, an RBI, and 3 singles. Ty Pollock, Mark McCleve, each 1 for 2, as Pollock had the homer and 3 RBIs. Wasey Wood 2 for 2 on the day with 2 RBIs and 2 runs scored. Jake Lyman 3 for 3. 3 RBIs with a homer. Jesus Juarez comes in with 1 for 1 and an RBI. And JT Tate 2 for 4 on the day with 3 runs scored, as almost everybody in the whole Lobo bench dugout minus the coaches got in and got a hit today.
Yeah, they came to play for sure. I mean, the pitching for Show Low, let's be honest, they didn't necessarily really struggle that much, I don't think. They didn't do that bad of a job, but these Lobo hitters just really dialed in today. They came to play for sure.
The Cougars missed some spots here today, and the Lobos made them pay, as they had 6 home runs in the third inning on that 17-run outbreak, as they took the lead from the Cougars, and the Cougars only are able to scratch those 6 across, and those 6 came 3 in the first and then the 3 in the third punt, and you have those stats.
Yeah, so for the Cougars today, Jared Williams, a leadoff runner, he goes 0 for 2. Trent Williams, 1 for 2. Bradley Clark, 2 for 3 today with a couple of hits, and also an RBI, and also scoring a couple of runs. Chandler Nicholas, the big hitter today for the Cougars, he goes 2 for 3 with a home run, a 3 RBI home run in the first, and then follows that up with a double and another RBI in the third. And then Tristan Swanson, the starting pitcher, he goes 1 for 2 from the plate today. Jake Tate, shortstop, 0 for 3. Jake Reedhead, the center fielder, goes 1 for 2 with an RBI. Deegan Lettner goes 0 for 2. And then Tyner Isaacs, the starting right fielder, also 0 for 2 for today's game.
So we'll get to our player of the game. Your player of the game is brought to you by Honda Outdoor Ski and Sports Store. For the best hiking, hunting, fishing, camping gear on the mountain, go to Honda Outdoor Ski and Sports Store, south of Pine Top on Highway 260. And Punt, you had that task of going through the Lobo lineup and picking your player of the game. And I mean, it seemed simple at best, as you had a couple to pick from, but
well, there's a lot of shaded in diamonds when you look, and I mean every single player, every position 1 through 9 today for the Lobos. Obviously, when they put up 25 runs, you know, a lot of folks are going to be scoring, and that's certainly the case today. And we talked earlier about how Snowflake, from the 1 spot all the way through the 9 spot, did a great job of hitting the ball and just being aggressive today. So yeah, it's really hard. A lot of guys hit home runs today. But, you know, and there were a lot of substitutions as well on the Snowflake side, at least, with the lead they had pretty consistently through the game after that big 3rd inning. But, and I have to be honest, I'm trying to not necessarily not give it to Tyler Hansen because he's their ace. We expect a lot from him. He's got commitments to go on to the next level. It's not like I'm not wanting to reward his good stuff, but I mean, look past his performance today. I mean, the guy hit 2 home runs. He ends up going, what was it, 5 for 6. 5 for 6. Yeah, and a lot of RBIs, and he's a really good hitter, and he certainly showed that today. I mean, there's some other guys on this Lobo squad that did a great job as well. Jake Lyman, one of them, as well as Tyler Claridge. You know, Claridge didn't put any up big monster home runs or anything, but he hit very consistently, as did Jake Lyman today. But when you combine the work on the mound today, I think he would agree he didn't have like a real exceptional outing today as a pitcher, but he still worked the entire game and got you know, his teammates the victory off the mound, and just did a fabulous job at the plate today. So really hard to look past Tyler Hansen for player of the game, and I think he's certainly deserving of it.
Congratulations to Tyler Hansen, as he does go the distance on the hill for the W for the Lobos, and also contributes at the plate, going to 5 for 6 and 4 RBIs with those 2 home runs in that 3rd inning. So we need to, first I want to thank the AD here at Show Low, Dave Nicholas. He allowed us inside of the press box here at Cougar Stadium, which I'm very thankful for, because
God bless that man.
We're not out in the wind. We need to thank Cameron, our boss, or Camden Smith, our boss, for making the phone call to get us in here. And we want to thank the kids from Show Low that are out battling the weather. Doesn't seem like anyone blew off a dugout or anything today in the wind with our camera, and we appreciate those guys and gals for all the hard work they do. And you have those names.
Yeah, and those folks are technical director today, Isaiah Miller, along with James Firm, audio, Stephanie Fragoso, graphics, Tyler Roden, camera operators today. The guys are really, you had to bear through this wind. James Firm, Jacob Shriver, and Ray De La Torre. Producers today, Jerry Butler, Hannah Dyke, and of course Mel West. And then runner today, just the gopher guy that helped out on all kinds of different things. Colin Almquist, like to give him thanks as well as Royce back in the studio, who always does a great job producing the radio side of this production.
Absolutely. So we'll get out of here, let these kids clean up and get warm. We want to thank our sponsors real fast for making this all possible. Ace Hardware in Pine Top, Heber and Show Low, Sunrise Park Resort, Northland Pioneer College, Summit Regional Medical Center, Beeler Orthodontics, Deemer's Glass, the Indian Pine Restaurant at Honda, Octopus Car Wash. For Punt Cooley, I'm Brian Lang. We'll do it for Show Low as the Lobos take down the Cougars 25-6. Please check our website for playoff action, as the playoffs for baseball and softball start Friday and Saturday, and we will have that schedule up. And so be aware, between Facebook and our website. We want to thank you for tuning in. This is Hatch Motor Company's presentation of high school baseball on iTalk 106.7 and worldwide on iTalk 106.7.com.
Hi folks, Gentry Hatch here. Let's face it, in today's world, there are a lot of tools out there to help you buy a car. An iPhone, Kelly Blue Book, the list goes on and on.com. At Hatch Motor Company in Snowflake and Show Low, we know that you can and will find the best deal for you. We will even help you find it if you don't happen to have a smartphone, which I believe everybody does. Remember, no hassle, no pressure, simply the best in service and sales. Hatch Motor Company in Snowflake and in Show Low, and online all the time at hatchmotorco.com.
Orthodontist Dr. Joshua Beeler has been providing family-friendly orthodontics in Show Low and the entire White Mountains since 2006. If you need braces, stop in and see the friendly folks at Beeler Orthodontics and meet their professional staff. Dr. Beeler and his team have the latest in orthodontics technology, and they work with each patient individually to custom tailor the most effective treatment plan for the best results. Beeler Orthodontics is a proud sponsor of high school sports. Beeler Orthodontics, live to smile, love your smile.
Hi folks, Gentry Hatch here. Let's face it, in today's world, there are a lot of tools out there to help you buy a car. An iPhone, Kelly Blue Book, the list goes on and on.com. At Hatch Motor Company in Snowflake and Show Low, we know that you can and will find the best deal for you. We will even help you find it if you don't happen to have a smartphone, which I believe everybody does. Remember, no hassle, no pressure, simply the best in service and sales. Hatch Motor Company in Snowflake and in Show Low, and online all the time at hatchmotorco.com.